Welcome back, family. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the lawsuit brought up against Sean Combs by none other than Cassandra Ventura, who we all know as Cassie. This suit was filed November 16th, and I have the actual filings, and we're going to review some of the stuff. It is quite salacious. It's quite damaging to Puffy's brand, to tell you the truth. But again, these things are allegations at this point. Puffy did make a statement through his lawyers. We'll take a look at that. But if any of this is true, this guy, Puffy, is truly a monster. We have to keep in mind as we read this that these are just that, allegations. They may seem very graphic and very detailed, but we have to exercise a little caution here and give Puffy the benefit of the doubt until he has his day in court. So let's jump right into it. I have the documents, and I'm going to give you my true and honest commentary at the end, as I always do. But let's first go and take a look at the document. As you can see here, the official filing with the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Miss Cassandra Ventura, the plaintiff, filing against Sean Puffy Combs, the defendant. We're going to take a look here. What's it say? Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive, popular known by his stage name Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or Diddy. Mr. Combs came to fame in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy. He rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly referred to as a hip-hop mogul. In 2022, Mr. Combs received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. During his acceptance speech, Mr. Combs stated, "I have to give a special shout out, thank you, love, to the people that was really there for me." He named a number of people before adding, and also Cassie, for holding me down in dark times. Love. The truth, however, in the case of Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. Wow. Amongst other violent and unlawful acts, Mr. Combs raped Miss Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him. Often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped Miss Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black-eyed, and bleeding. Blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. Forced Miss Ventura to engage in sex acts with male sex workers while masturbating and filming the encounter. Ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby. Introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in 2005 when she was 19 years old and he was 37 years old. He signed her to his Bad Boy record label, and within a few years lured Miss Ventura into an ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him. Throughout their relationship, Mr. Combs was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat Miss Ventura savagely. These beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boys Entertainment and Mr. Combs' related businesses, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. Following these episodes of horrific abuse, Mr. Combs would immediately attempt to hide Miss Ventura and the evidence of his violent rage. He often showered her with gifts following incidents of physical violence, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. In addition to physical abuse, Mr. Combs frequently reminded Miss Ventura of his ability to cause serious harm. whether by requiring her to carry his gun in her purse or by blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. Adding insult to injury, Combs used illegal substances and threats of violence to force Miss Ventura into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male sex workers. Over the years, Mr. Combs abused Miss Ventura physically and sexually. She again and again tried to escape his tight hold over her life. Every time she hid, Mr. Combs' vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found her, and those who worked for Mr. Combs' companies implored her to return to him. Many went as far as to explicitly state that her failure to return to Mr. Combs would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. You guys get the idea. Some of the stuff is really damning. It's a 35-page document, and sometimes she gives graphic description as to what took place. The stuff we read thus far wasn't really graphic, they were basic. Within this document, she does get a little more specific. We're going to take a look at one particular thing that she began to describe in detail, and we'll leave it at that. So on page 16, she goes on to say, within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with 40-year-old Mr. Combs, the 22-year-old Miss Ventura felt beholden to his whim and demands. While in New York, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Mr. Combs said that it would be a turn-on if he saw Miss Ventura with another dick. Okay. The first time Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Mr. Combs, and Miss Ventura were in masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Miss Ventura to perform sexual act with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He masturbated while he directed Miss Ventura and the man to do specific sexual acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call these arrangements a freak-off, or FO. He would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Miss Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and to hire the male sex workers. At certain points during Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on an FO weekly. Mr. Combs would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura that his practice was our thing and our secret. Alright y'all, as you can see, I'm a new channel trying to grow. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Please be sure to leave a like if you've gotten this far, and click the notification bell so you know when I upload new content. Thank you for your help. Now let's get back to our program. So, allegedly, Puffy would hire other men to bang his wife, and he'd stay there watching, masturbating. That's some pretty shocking details. So, again, this filing is not even a day old yet. And of course, Puffy's lawyers responded quickly and issued a statement to New York Times, and it states, in response, a lawyer for Mr. Combs, Ben Brafman, said, Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Miss Ventura's persistent demand for $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Withdrawing her initial threat, Miss Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. I mean, this is exactly what you would expect a lawyer to say. Come out and deny everything, and I guess they'll have their day in court. Okay, so what is my opinion about all this? What do I think? I'll give that to you in 2 parts. 1, I gotta tell you the details here as I read this document, about at least 26 pages of it. The rest of it, the later pages, was just legal jargon. But as far as what I read, it was way too detailed to have not been true. Am I saying it's 100% true? Probably not. It's probably embellished a bit just to strengthen her lawsuit, but these things might have happened, not in the way that she described, but indeed something happened. Where there's smoke, there's fire. The thing to me that's a little bit suspicious here is the fact that she waited 5 years since they broke up. They've been broken up since 2018. Now, the other thing that doesn't sit well with me is the fact that, according to the lawyer, she went to Puffy and told him she would like $30 million in lieu of her writing a tell-all book about their relationship. Puffy, according to the lawyer, rejected this blackmail from Miss Ventura, and instead of writing a tell-all book, she files a lawsuit. Now, we don't know if the claims by Puffy's lawyers are accurate. Are they making this up on the fly? It sounds like a good defense. Did it happen? Who knows? Did CASSIE really endure the level of abuse that she claims in this paperwork filed with the courts? Who knows? But I'll say this. Having been in a relationship for 10 years with such a high status person like Puff, being showered with the gifts that you were, driving the cars that you were, taking the trips, whatever the celebrity wealthy lifestyle afforded you, that couldn't easily become addictive. It is an indication that she might have been being abused, because she left Puff to go with an A-list fitness trainer to the stars. So she left a billionaire to go be with a middle-class man. His net worth is about $2 million. Don't get it twisted. You hear million in there and you think that's something impressive. $2 million, that's middle class. It doesn't afford you a luxurious lifestyle. You're pretty comfortable. You get to do things here and there, but it's nowhere near Puffy's level. Puffy is damn near a billionaire, and this fact that she left Puffy to go be with this middle-class man can be played both ways. She was in fact being abused, so much so that she left a billionaire to go be with the middle-class guy. Or you could spin it the other way as well. You can say her relationship with Puffy ended. Now she's married with 2 kids to a middle-class guy, and she's not living the lifestyle that she was accustomed to and might be looking for a come-up. All this is possible. And the fact that she is married to this guy proves both points. One thing that she claims is that when she and Kid Cudi began to entertain a romantic relationship, Puff found out about it, and as a result told her that he was going to have his car blown up while he was in the house, and a few days later his car blows up. If they can trace that incident to Puffy, then it gives her story a lot more credibility. I try to balance the possibilities on both sides, and as I've laid out my case and my opinion to you guys, I want to know what you think. Was I off in any way? Did you look at this in a way that I might have missed? Please be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll try to answer as much of it as possible. Thank you for checking me out one more time. Catch you on the next one.